Star Report. I'm your host, Star. Good afternoon. Okay. I want to talk to you guys about this ongoing tragedy, Nolan Wells, and the what I consider to be the full display of white supremacy. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Rarely do I just come right out and say that, but in this particular case, I think, you need an older man, such as myself, born in 1964, to put certain things in perspective. Now, my moniker is the objective perspective, okay? I do not support tribalism. You know this already. I am an objectivist from the school of Ayn Rand. That's her philosophy, objectivism. However, I am aware of my surroundings. Racism, which does exist, don't let anybody tell you it doesn't, has always been a beautiful motivating factor in my life. Racism, a social construct. However, there are people who are prejudiced, not everybody. And with regards to white supremacy, let's be clear. You don't choose it, it chooses you. It festers within the deep, dark cavities of your culture. See, most people align themselves by way of culture. You've heard me say this before. And within that aligning, sometimes there can be a silence, which is what I think we have here, a silence. People who are on code. I mean no disrespect, but I've said this before, pardon me. I think Nolan Wells was under the delusion of inclusion. The delusion of inclusion. I grew up in a very beautiful, but a town, New Jersey, Scotch Plains, if you don't know, in the 70s. Whew! I had a great childhood, spoiled to death. Got everything I wanted and needed in the 70s. I had my own color TV, wall-to-wall carpet. Oh, God, that was big in the 70s, So I want to talk about an interview that I watched with the Officer Tatum show. Officer Tatum. I don't know a lot about this man. Salute to him. I just read up about him yesterday. I've seen him. I know of him, but I can't honestly say I've ever watched a full episode. And I mean no disrespect. I go to the news as opposed to other people's opinions. Officer Tatum, I don't know his background. I would imagine he's a former police officer. Okay. He sat with one of Nolan Wells', I'm going to say so-called friends, Warren Hudson. Warren Hudson, who is the stepson of, catch this one in case you don't know, Judge Ashley Cole. Judge Ashley Cole has been speaking, with regards to the tragedy of Nolan Wells' death, okay? She's a judge in Jackson County, and in case you also don't know, she and Nolan Wells' mother went to school together, high school. They're not friends. They might be associates, in passing, and there's nothing wrong with that. Hey, how's it going? Hi, good morning. Light stuff. But in episode 1 of Officer Tatum's interview with Warren Hudson, and I'm going to play him. I'm going to play part of it. He says he never went to Nolan Wells' house. How can you claim to be someone's best friend if you've never been to their home? You've heard me say this on multiple occasions. Most people that I know, we are associates, and there's nothing wrong with, separating friends from associates. If I don't know your family, whether it's your parents or your wife or your husband, we're not friends. We're associates. This young man, again, who I'm going to play part of the interview, and I don't know of Officer Tatum's full position, so I'm not going to take a shot at him. But let me ask you guys, troll babies in the live chat, members only today, is Officer Tatum one of those blacks who pushes the, racism doesn't exist narrative? I'm just asking. I don't want to accuse him. Is he one of those? Is he one of those people who wants to shine for Whitey? Yaza boss! Yaza! I don't know, so I'm not trying to take a shot. I'm just asking. What is his position? Why is he sitting there, with his big ass legs crossed and some type of Italian ankle boots? Oh, God. I'm going to try and stay on course today and not be silly, but I was so thrown off. And I'm like, well, why is he trying to, almost cheer for this guy? Warren Hudson. Keep in mind, Nolan Wells' mother has already said she doesn't know any of his friends, the white friends. Warren Hudson speaks about having seen Nolan's father at Waffle House in passing. So that's where I'm going here this early afternoon, okay? Showrunner. Oh, we've got a mom down there who shot and killed, I'll say allegedly, a young male who came into the back door. I'm going to play the video, the full details. I'm not clear because I'm still somewhat on vacation. 1 o'clock in the morning, her 13-year-old daughter, as she was escorting him out the front door, she shot him in the back of the head. Pow! I'm kind of divided on this, honestly. I mean, you can't just go around shooting people, but that's her home. The child does not have any type of authority to give anyone a rite of passage into a dwelling from a legal perspective. The child cannot give authorization. So you going in is really at your own risk. And the mother, according to the reports, and she's being held on a $100,000 bond, still shot this man in the back of the head. Pow! I don't know if they had any type of sexual, connection, he and the minor, but many people are saying that he got what he got, okay? All right, so that's my main points here this afternoon to discuss. Also, guys, are you up to speed on AOC down there in Memphis? Putting on her sister girl accent again. Alexandria Cortez from the New York Tri-State. Down there in Memphis, Tennessee, trying to rile up the Democrats. I'm not a Democrat, let's be clear. People are cheering for her. Is she going to run for the presidency? No, she's not stupid. Nobody would vote for her. I would vote against her at all costs. I usually vote conservative, but I would make sure she does not get anywhere near the White House. But it's very entertaining, the video that I'm going to play for you with AOC. They're talking about behind. She forgot the D in the word behind. Anyway, let's get down to business here. Let me give Officer Tatum some burn. Again, I don't know too much about this man. I have seen him, but I don't know what his official position is. It seems like he's giving this guy somewhat of a pass. Nolan Wells' so-called best friend. Here we go.
All right, Warren. We had a chance to get to know each other over the last, 2 days. Went out to Horn Island. So I've had an opportunity to talk to you about a few things. And the things that you've told me have literally blown my mind. But the world haven't had a chance yet to hear your story, to hear Nolan's story through you, through his friend. And it's not just you, it's a bunch of y'all. But, some of the other guys were afraid because of the threats and the violence that's been threatened against their lives and all of the above. But you decided that you wanted to take this bold step and give a statement and, get your side out here. And I want to start at the very beginning of all of this and ask you, what was your relationship like with Nolan? Who was he to you?
Nolan, I could describe Nolan in a million ways. I mean, Nolan was not just a best friend of me, but he was a brother. I grew up through elementary, middle school, high school, and even our freshman year of college. We talked on the phone all the time. We were really close friends. And Nolan was like a brother to me. And Nolan lit up every room he walked in. He always had a smile on his face. He always had something good to say. I've never seen Nolan get in an argument with somebody and say bad things about someone. You know, there's a lot of people that talk crap nowadays, and Nolan was never that person. Sweetest soul ever. And I mean, I had a great relationship with Nolan. I've never got in an argument with Nolan. We were super close, and I've never said or will ever have anything bad to say about Nolan Wells.
Yeah, and you guys, you said you kind of grew up together.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know his mom, or how was that? Because I saw in the media where it appears that she may have said, at least I saw in part, that she said as if she didn't know any of you guys.
Right. Well, Nolan, a lot of the times was at like my house and at my buddy's house. We never went to Nolan's house and hung out. I mean, and my friend group's very, very tight knit. I mean, we
Did you hear him? He said it. We've never went to Nolan's house. Was Nolan a follower? Let's take it back a second.
Because I saw in the media where it appears that she may have said, at least I saw in part, that she said as if she didn't know any of you guys.
Right. Well, Nolan, a lot of the times was at like my house and at my buddy's house. We never went to Nolan's house and hung out. I mean, and my friend group's very, very tight knit. I mean, we hang out every day when we're back home from school. In high school, we hung out most weekdays and every day on the weekend. And I mean, we were never at Nolan's which, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. But I met his father, and I mean, in 8th grade, that's when Nolan and I like got really close. It was COVID year, and we were in class all year long together, me and a couple of my buddies. And Nolan and I just got super tight because we'd get a Waffle House once a week together, eat. And I mean, we were just super, super close. But his dad would swing by Waffle House, you know, and like, you know, hang out around us, but never, you know, I was never around Nolan's parents a lot. But I mean, that didn't change our relationship any. Nolan and I were still just as close, and he was just as close with my friends as, you know, anyone else. So
I got to stop right there. I'm going to try not to interrupt too much, but know that that's a huge point. You're claiming he was like a brother, but you never went to his house. So you never sat at the dinner table with his family. You never ate his mother's cooking, but he was your brother. As you guys say, that's cap.
And walk me through the day of 4th of July where you guys were all going out.
Right.
This seems like something that I would assume that may have occurred more than just this year.
Yeah, of course.
Was it something that you guys did more than just this year? This is a 2-part question. I want to know, is it something that you guys typically did together? Did you hang out often in this fashion? And then I want you to then walk me through 4th of July this year when the incident happened.
Okay. You know, being from the Gulf Coast, there's a boating and fishing is very, very popular. The 4th of July, every year, my friends and I, or my family and I, are out on the water. I mean, that's the one day is guaranteed everybody's going out. And that's a known thing. Everybody's trying to get a ride out to Horn Island, or, you know, people go to Ship Island, but most of everybody from Ocean Springs and the Gulf Coast go to Horn Island. And, you know, we went last year. Nolan was on the boat with me last year. And he was, I mean, this was a common thing. My friends go on the boat when we're home. Very, very common. That's what we like to do. My friends like to fish also, and like to go on the boat, not just fishing, but like to go on the boat, like to go on sunset cruises, like to do it all, you know, on the water, you know? And, I mean, Nolan loved to do that too. I mean, he was not like he was just like everyone else in our friend group. He loved to go on the water and, you know, have a good time with the guys. And, that's what we did a lot. But 4th of July, everybody was out there. Like I said, like Nolan was always trying to go on the boat, trying to go out there with us. And he was always welcome to come. Nolan was always out there with us. And, but started 4th of July, you know, my buddies and I had talked about this week's upcoming, you know, everybody's very, very excited for the 4th of July from down here. Like it's a big thing.
It's a big deal. Huh?
Very, very big deal. And, I mean, I actually stayed with Nolan that night at my buddy's house, and I woke up at my buddy's house, and we went to McDonald's, got food. Nolan was not with me, and I went and got breakfast. I had my buddy's boat hooked up to my truck, and well, first I ran to my house, then I went to McDonald's and came back, and the boat was already hooked up to my truck. My buddy Wyatt and I went, and with my buddy Wilson, we went, filled the top of the boat off, loaded it down with ice, and just got everything ready. Then Wyatt went and put his smaller boat in the water, which is the Palm Beach. He's an 18-foot Palm Beach, and I drove the boat from Fort Bayou Boat Launch to my buddy's grandparents' house, and that's where we all planned to meet up that day. And
you say we all, who you talking about? You, Nolan, and how many people are going to meet you guys there?
We had roughly 20 to 30 people coming on 3 separate boats with us. And so we were all following each other out there as one big group. You know, it wasn't just me and Nolan and a couple other of my buddies. There was 20 or 30 people spread out where we all met at the dock before, and then we departed to go to Horn Island. It wasn't just a couple of us. I mean, there were so many people, we had to split up between 3 boats, and we all left and all got there at the same time.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that's clear, because the statements that are out there made it appear that it was just you, Nolan, and probably 2 or 3 other guys, and y'all are the only ones that went out to this island.
And that's completely incorrect. I mean, Horn Island on the 4th of July is the most popular day to be on the water on, throughout the entire Gulf Coast. I mean, everybody and their mom is on the water on 4th of July, There's no telling. I mean, roughly probably 2 to 3, maybe even 4,000 people out there. There were boats lined up off the island. I mean, there was 3 rows of boats all the way until my vision ended, until I could see of people there was 1 row of boats, and then there was another row of boats, and then there was a 3rd row of boats.
Yeah.
I mean, there was people lined up all up and down the island to where, I mean, who knows? I mean, and that wasn't just, we were parked on the north side, on the west.
I'm going to jump in here for a second, because Warren Hudson, who you're looking at speaking, he's babbling. And if I had to guess, I don't know for certain, his stepmother, Ashley Cole, not his biological mother, who is a judge, again, in Jackson County, more than likely, she said to him, you need to get out there and get in front of the story. Speak from your heart, Don't just be quiet, even though I think I'm from that old school. I think that you should always shut your mouth until you're charged. And then you say, I'm going to, reserve all comments and have my lawyers speak on my behalf. But he's of that younger generation where, they're born into the matrix. Again, his stepmother, Judge Ashley Cole, she put up a lengthy post on social media stating why she deactivated her Facebook page. And because of the 3 paragraphs that, she put out there, she probably told him as well, you should get out there to dispel the rumors. Well, we'll see if that either helps or hurts, because Ben Crump is on the job. Like him or not, Ben Crump. Oh, and we got to get to Attorney Ben Crump struggling to read with the goddamn the red pen. Give me a second, but I just wanted to point all of this out. I don't believe that he came forward because he's, such a good friend of Nolan Wells. He's trying to get ahead of the story, possibly at the advice of his stepmother, the judge.
Tip. It wasn't just there. I mean, there's tons of people packed out on the south side and on the east end and in the middle of the island. But just where we were, I mean, there was easily 1,000 people. It wasn't just us.
Let's go back a little bit. I want to go back to you guys at the dock, getting on the boat. You're saying there's multiple people, probably 20 or 30 people getting on 3 boats.
Right.
What boat were you on, and what boat was Nolan on?
Nolan was on Wyatt's 22 Triton. on the way out, I went with my buddy Bart because we had a lot of friends from college coming down. And I called Bart that morning. I was like, hey, man, can you take your boat out? And he was like, yeah, well, my dad's decided not to go. And I'll take the boat and I'll take you and your friends. Of course. I mean, he's a buddy of mine. And so Bart pulled up at the dock. And I mean, I rode out there with Bart and a lot of the girls that go to college with my friends and I. And Nolan rode out on the Triton. And then we had a Palm Beach, 18 Palm Beach. There was 4 guys on that. There was like 8 people on the Triton. And then there was 8 or 9 people on the Triton. And then there was the rest of the group, which was probably ranged from maybe 10 to 15 or 16 people on my buddy's tide line, which is 24 tide line.
And so you guys get on, and I know a little bit more than the audience do because we went out there a little earlier because I wanted to see exactly what the drive was like, what the dock was like, how far it is out there.
Of course.
But I want you to tell, the audience, like, what was this trip like? How was the waters? Did you guys do anything in between the time you rode and the time you get to the island? Was there music? Is it like a big party? Like, what is that?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously music's blasting. It's 4th of July, man. I mean, everybody's really excited. And I mean, we had a lot of people loaded down. So obviously our biggest, we're just trying to make sure everybody, gets out there safe. And so, I mean, on the way out there, it was pretty calm. I think it was blowing like 3 or 4 knots. I mean, the waters were clear. It was a great day to be on the water. Sunshine, not cloudy at all. And I mean, it was a great day to be out there.
Troll Baby 919, thank you for your comment. Yeah, I didn't get all the way through part 2 of Officer Tatum's interview with Warren Hudson. And Dana, with the data, said there's a part 3. I don't know if it's out yet, but that's a good question. Did his stepmother, the judge, advise him to shed white tears
on 4th of July? And so, I mean, we followed each other out, and I mean, it was calm. It was calm. On the way back, it was a little more rough, but it was not anything all my buddies' boats couldn't handle, or like it wasn't like we were getting really beat up or anything. I mean, it was pretty calm.
And so you guys get out there. I'm assuming that you line the boats up because I'm envisioning the picture of getting out there and there's hundreds of boats. Mm-hmm. There's thousands of people. Yeah. So it wasn't just you guys on a deserted island with
of course not
a few people. This is thousands of people out there.
Right.
And there's a lot of people doing what? What does it look like when you first pull up?
I pull up, and we pulled up at 10:30. I mean, it wasn't, early afternoon. I mean, it wasn't, but 10:30 is, still pretty early in the day. And when we got there, there was already 3 rows of boats lined up all the way, like I said, until I could see. And
you're talking, when you say all you can see, you're speaking about miles of boat. When we went out there earlier, or not earlier today, but when we went out there, the island is massive.
Correct.
I mean, it's just several miles long.
Roughly 10 to 12 miles. I mean, it's.
So you think that the boats were stretching from one end to the next, or a small area of about a mile or less than a mile of boats?
Well, I mean, I think there was boats all the way around the entire island, but I think some spots were more popular than others. Like the West Tip is usually very, very crowded on the 4th of July, and everybody knows that. So that's where a lot of people park because they want to be around other people. And the East End's a little more, there's not as many people, but there's still a lot of boats out there. I mean, it's not like every area of Horn Island was covered 100%.
Wow. So you get out there, y'all jump out. What do you do? When I say jump out, you obviously not just sitting on the boat. The island is there. Like, what exactly are people doing there? Like, are you spending more time in the water, on the island, in the boat? Like, how is that look out there?
I mean, everybody, as soon as you get there, I mean, there's people.
Guys, thank you for becoming members today. You are appreciated. I'm going to be trying to read many of your comments without interrupting too much. But young Kobe, salute to you. He says, got to be a real one. None of my white friends have never been to my house. That's not uncommon. Sir, with all due respect, those are not your friends. Those are your associates, acquaintances, co-workers, get high buddies. Those are people who you may play basketball with, chop it up, shoot the shit, chase bitches. The true definition of a friend has many, many different layers to it. And there are people who can correct you. You argue with them. You have disagreements. At some time, you even separate, and then you reunite. And the bond either becomes stronger, which defines friendship, respectfully.
People on boats, yeah, grabbing drinks and, food, whatever else. Like, I mean, everybody is fully prepared for the 4th of July. They bring, all the drinks and food that they need because, I mean, they've been preparing for 4th for a little while now. But when we got there, I helped my buddies tie the boats up because the tie line was right here, the Palm Beach was in the middle, and then the Triton was on the outer side. And there was about a drop off from where the bow was. I mean, if you jumped off the bow, you were probably about neck deep in water. But if you got off the stern, you were probably waist deep in water. I mean, but when we got there, we tied up, got, bow and rear anchor set, and we tied up all the boats, made sure they were good, and everyone just got on the water. Then eventually, next thing you know, it's our group. And then, next thing you know, there's 50 other people around us. And then it just grew and grew as the day came on. And, I mean, that's just how it was. Everybody's drinking, I mean, it's 4th of July. Everyone's just trying to enjoy themselves. And, it's a big party, basically. Big party.
Yeah. So y'all pretty much having a good time. Just like anybody would imagine, 18-year-olds, probably 20-year-olds, college students out on the island, women. You probably had alcohol, so y'all having a good time.
Yeah, of course.
And so where's Nolan in this? You guys out there, the friend groups are out there. 3 boats full of people that came out there that seem to be the closest friend group.
Right.
Where's Nolan in this in comparison to where you and others are at?
Well, I had a couple conversations with Nolan that day, and I talked to him and a couple of my other buddies. They in a group. I was not focused on anyone solely, like looking and pointing anyone out because there's so many people out there. I mean, I was talking to my friends that I haven't seen in a while from high school. I was talking from people I knew from college. I was talking to, everybody my age and even people older than us were, over there. Like, I mean, it was just a regular thing. We're all used to this. We've been out to the islands before. My buddies don't just go out to the island on 4th of July, but they go out, every weekend. Like I fish the islands. I don't just, fish around Horn Island. I fish around Ship Island too. So I'm very familiar with the islands. And I feel like it was just a big, I talked to Nolan and, Nolan was drinking. Everybody was drinking, most of everybody. And I mean, Nolan seemed completely fine every time I talked to him. We had just regular conversations and, Nolan was making me laugh. I had a couple conversations with Nolan and Javon, Nolan and my buddy James, Nolan. And I mean, I could tell you, I mean, I talked to Nolan a couple times, but it wasn't like I was strictly sitting there talking to Nolan the whole day. I mean, there was hundreds of people I knew out there. So,
yeah. And Nolan said something interesting. You told me about this. Something he said to you, I would say would be indicative of y'all's friendship.
Right.
And then he also mentioned something to you about that particular day and what it meant.
Let me jump in there. Salute to the homie Kobe. He's a member. He says, true Star. However, my mom's house was dirty at times. None of my friends, hardly family, was invited either. Okay. So young Kobe said none of his white friends have been inside his house. Well, sir, with all due respect, your mom sound like a real one. Whether your house is dirty or not, bringing people inside, that's how a lot of people up north, over the decades, centuries, if you will, have been moving and operating. You've heard me say this before, not to go back, but my father was from the South. Now, my white associates or schoolmates, classmates, whatever you want to call them, they could come to the house, but they had to wait outside. Or we play with the Johnny Bench batter up in the backyard. The Rock'em Sock'em robots on the front porch. The G.I. Joe with the Kung Fu grip, over by the pool. But you're not coming inside the house. So I had, again, white associates come to the house, but my father was just, he's from the South, so all that coming inside, touching stuff, that didn't happen. But your mom sounded like a real one, sir. Let's continue.
To him.
Right.
And could you share that?
Right. Yeah. So Nolan and my buddy Javon are talking, and I grew up with Nolan, and Nolan's just all, like I said, like just so joyful, like always happy. Like every picture I have with Nolan or picture I have of Nolan, he's smiling. I mean, like he's always happy. If I always need like a shed of light, I'm calling Nolan, and Nolan and I laugh and joke a lot. Like that's how our friend group is. We're really jokingly laugh. No one takes anything that serious. We enjoy our time together. I mean, there's never any awkwardness within our friend group. We're very, very tight. So if I ever need to get something off my chest or talk to anybody, I'm talking to all my friends. I'm not just talking to like specifically anybody. I would go out, like even if I'm having issues with something, I go talk to my group chat, and my guys are there to, give me a hand anytime I need it. And all my guys are, all my buddies are the same exact way. Nolan was the same exact way. If you ever need something, I'm here, man. Like that's how he was. So,
and then
we jump in right there. Hey, Kayla, thank you for your comment. He's overcompensating with this brother claim. I agree. And as I said earlier, I am pointing towards white supremacy until, I see, correct me if I haven't seen it, his friends do a press conference. Have his friends done a press conference to dispel the rumors? Let me ask you guys a couple of questions before we get back to Officer Tatum's interview or discussion, whatever you want to call it. Did Nolan have a boat? See, in certain settings, especially when you grow up around predominantly whites, racism is always there, but it may be a class thing. You're of the lower class, so you can hang around. You're funny. Oh, my God, you're so funny. Right? He just said Nolan made him laugh. Was Nolan the court jester? Funny guy, always cheered people up. And here's the last question I'm going to ask. Was Nolan ashamed of his family? Was he ashamed of his Filipino mother and his black father, and thus the reason why he didn't invite his white friends over? I'm just speculating. I don't know. Or did they just not want to go there? Was Nolan of the lower class? I have yet to hear this guy, so-called friend, Warren, speak about Nolan's boat. He spoke about Bart's boat and these other guys' boats. Did Nolan have a boat? Could he afford a boat?
You guys get ready to leave prematurely.
Right.
And explain that, because you guys got there around 10.
Yeah.
It's now 4:30.
Right.
People are still out there partying and
Correct.
They're having a good time, but something happened to where it necessitated you guys to get the boat up and running. Can you explain that?
Yeah. So
okay. So I played part one from Officer Tatum. Sir, if there's a problem with me playing your content, shoot me an email. We will edit that whole thing out. All right. I'm not trying to, hijack people's content. All right. I sent out my show notes earlier. Let me see if a couple of people are going to chime in. Okay. Thank you, Deeds. Guys, my show producer says non-members can still hit the gold button and have a super chat. So we want you to know that you are appreciated. Peace, King Simon. Where are you, sir? Gene Richmond, are you ready? I sent you a text message. Are you calling in? Anybody want to call in before we get to the next video? This is a research edition, and thank you for becoming new members. Yes, I am delineating from Brokies. I've always been the same. Troy Terrain from Scotch Plains, New Jersey. Everybody who grew up with me, their perception of me was, yeah, he's got a chip on his shoulder. Oh, my goodness. There he is. My friend, who I've been to his home, my number one news correspondent, Gene Richmond.
Hello, this is Gene Richmond, of course. I mean, not quite Bryant Gumbel,
Right.
not quite Peter Jennings, and not quite Bernard Shaw, but I'm something quite unique, I will say.
I agree. How are you, sir?
All is well. Well, I just want to jump right into this Nolan Wells situation.
Yeah.
And I just want to say that this should be a cautionary tale to white people. White people watching this Nolan Wells case, especially teenagers and young white children and the white parents, be mindful, be wary of these black children that come around your kids, especially if there's only one and there's not that many in a group. Because if something happens to this black kid or children, claims of racism will be used, and they will blame white supremacy and you and try to hold you accountable for a potential accident or anything that happens to their children. They will automatically use race. As we can see, race is being used as a shield, but also as a weapon.
I am race hustling this afternoon. You did take notice of that, yes?
Well, you're the original race baiter,
yes.
Not only the hater, but a race baiter and an agitator, par excellence. But that I will say, this Nolan Wells case is a cautionary tale to white parents. Okay. Be careful. They talk about to be careful to black kids, to be careful bringing white friends around. But let's be careful about bringing these black kids around, because the moment something happens, black people will play the race card, as they're doing now.
Keep going. I want to have a perspective that opposes my early claims of saying this is a full display of white supremacy. Caucasians on code, so much to the point where there is a reward for information leading to the death of this young man. You familiar with the award? Pardon me. Reward? Money?
Well, that reward is coming from an informant. Is coming from an agitator, is coming from a charlatan and a hustler. And also a pimp by the name of Al Sharpton, and also with his Faustian apprentice, Ben Crump. Okay. I mean, you got to ask yourself this question: what kind of parents would allow these two whores of Babylon, these two sultry, race-baiting, agitating pimps, to sit up there and open his forked tongue and speak at that young man's memorial? Okay. What kind of parents are you to let that kind of hustling, pimping go on by these two detractors, these two blasphemers and pimps? I have to question the character of these parents. I do have to question. This is not a case of white supremacy. This is a lack of awareness by white people bringing this black kid around. Look what happens. Look what happens when you bring a black kid around you in the group. This kid meets his demise, and now you guys are somehow the heads of the Knights of the KKK. It's disgusting what's going on, making this a race issue. Making this a race issue. There's no evidence. As you hear this young boy talk about, Nolan was his friend. He could talk to Nolan. Nolan made him laugh. They love having Nolan around.
Nolan made him chuckle. Man, Chucky.
Of course.
You're so funny.
Of course.
Oh, my God. You're so funny. You're like Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, of course. I made my white friends in Greenwich, Connecticut smile and laugh, and it created a level of comfort. It created a level of comfort and solidarity. Of course. You make them laugh, and they become better friends of yours. He understood that. Friends make friends laugh. It's a common thing.
Can I jump in? He was just 18 years of age, and all these guys are very young, including Warren Hudson. And young people make mistakes. Do you think that a mistake may have occurred? I don't know how he died. I'm going to get to the Ben Crump and the NAACP, their press conference with regards to the recent autopsy that has been revealed. Do you think that a mistake may have occurred, and maybe, hypothetically speaking, Nolan, he forgot himself. He forgot that he did not have a boat. He was not on the same level as Warren and the others, and he tried something with this Caucasian female that reports say he stood behind to talk to? Did he try something? I'm not saying he roughed her up, but did he try something? She rejected his advance, and then a couple of other guys, put hands on him. Do you think that may have happened?
Well, the possibilities are endless. That is a scenario that could have very well happened. I personally think that, Nolan couldn't swim like most blacks have trouble swimming, or he wasn't an accomplished swimmer. I think he got caught by a riptide. He wanted to do something with the girl. She didn't want to do something. She didn't want raw sex. He wanted raw sex. She didn't want it. And a fight ensued, and he took off into the water, and a riptide took him away. That's what I believe. I believe it. I believe it was a scenario.
He said, "I'm going to kill myself. I've been pursuing you. I don't mean to make fun of this. I've been pursuing you. You know my feelings for you, and now you're rejecting me. I'm out of here."
Well, this is true because also, there was alcohol involved. He wanted the raw sex, and she was reluctant because it's a black guy, and she doesn't know. Her older brother's father probably said, don't ever do anything like that with a black man. And she wanted protection. And he wanted her white.
Your phone went out.
He wanted to feel every aspect of her white virtue. And she wanted him, I believe she wanted him to wrap it up. A fight ensued, and he took off in the water. Riptide got him. And sadly, he met his demise.
Okay. Well, listen, I'm going to continue playing the race card here this afternoon. I truly believe that the quiet, the common thread right now of people being quiet, I think it speaks volumes. There was too many people there for someone not to be able to say, here's what happened. And that's why I'm calling white supremacy. You don't have to claim it. It finds you. Can you speak to that and take your time? And I also want to ask you if you're familiar with the mother down there in Memphis who shot the young male in the head, allegedly killed him. You have to speak on that story, number 9?
Yeah, I did hear that story. And again, that story to me is a bit suspicious to just turn around and shoot a man in the back of her head for a fast daughter. That's a bit bizarre, don't you think? I mean, there was no, from what we understand, there was no assault or there was no struggle that happened. He just got shot in the back of the head. I mean, again, to me, that's very bizarre. As the young man is leaving the residence, again, there's a lot more to this story. I think something more nefarious occurred. You have a fast daughter bringing a young man into the home.
She's a minor. Number 9, she's technically a minor. And whether she's fast or not, when you cross that threshold, and I don't know the laws like that in Memphis, Tennessee, I mean, you're really gambling with your life, 1 o'clock in the morning, whether she invited you or not. And from what I've read and from the videos that I've seen, the mother has had this issue before with boys. Whether the young man had mental issues or not, he gambled with his life. Did he not?
Oh, absolutely. He rolled the dice. But also, I will say, it seems like this was a history of young men enjoying her young daughter.
Easy.
So
easy.
Could we say that this had happened before? Maybe the mother had caught other young boys in the home. Did they get shot? So because these kind of elements, it's like a pathology. There's a pattern. I'm sure this was not the first time. I believe there's something far more nefarious going on here for a young man to be shot in the head, being in a home with your daughter. I mean, was he a threat? Was she in any kind of danger? I mean, all this has to go into this investigation. This is why this woman was arrested. I mean, there's more to this story, and I'm sure there is. You got a black mama. You got a black mama and no daddy. There's a whole story in this that needs to be told.
Okay. I appreciate you. Anything else with regards to the Nolan Wells debacle? I'm saying this is a debacle, and I haven't even gotten to Ben Crump yet. Did you see Ben Crump with the little red light, laser light, struggling to read the autopsy reports? Did you see that?
I did unfortunately see a jabberjaw Negro trying to sound out words that even he couldn't understand. I mean, and this man is an attorney. How bizarre! How bizarre that he stood up there to make some sort of inference.
Did you see him say the NAACP, the NAACP?
I was waiting for Badeep. That's all, folks. I was waiting for that to come next. I mean, what a bizarre kind of tone of speak for an attorney. It's just bizarre. I mean, where did he get his diploma from my degree of Maya Angelou? Where did he get his law degree? I mean, it's just so bizarre. I mean, to have these kind of people make a spectacle of your son's memorial service. Shame on those parents. Shame on them.
Okay. Great to hear from you. Anything else we need to address here, or anything else you think is of a political nature that I need to put on the table here this afternoon?
Well, to talk about Brandon Tatum, the man who was interviewing the young man, he's from that era of the Candace Owens, Charlie Kirk turning point.
Oh, is he?
Yes, the origins of that organization. He started off with, he's actually very good friends with Candace, and he was actually very good friends with Charlie Kirk. They traveled together. They worked in the same network together.
Okay.
So they're a part of that. They're a part of that era of the young turning point conservatives, and they came up in that time frame. Obviously, they expanded and created their own networks, their own programming, but they're tied into that whole turning point, young conservative era at that time.
Okay. I appreciate your time. We'll talk soon. Gene Richmond.
Thank you.
Thank you. This is my good friend. I have been to his home. Okay. Thank you for your comments, guys. At some point, we have to discuss Cam Newton and Ryan Clark, along with others fired from ESPN. Okay, I'm not sure about some of the comments here. I'm trying to get them on the screen. Thank you for being members. Thank you so much. You are appreciated. Okay, guys, sit tight in the queue. I do want to get to the mother accused. $100,000 bond. Hold on a second. What are your thoughts? Did she have the right to put this young man's lights out in the house after a certain hour with my minor daughter?
$100,000. That's the bond for a Southwest Memphis woman accused of fatally shooting a man allegedly found hiding under her juvenile daughter's bed. Kendra Scott was in court today to face a charge of first-degree murder for the death of Rodarius Morton. Braille Brown spoke with Scott's attorneys about their confidence in representing her.
Kendra Scott stood before the judge draped in a Shelby County jumpsuit while her family sat in the gallery for emotional support. Her attorneys say that they believe that the state would have a challenge to pursue a first-degree murder charge. Currently, her bond is set at $100,000.
Well, the challenges I'm seeing are for the state in trying to go forward on first-degree murder charges. You've got a woman who is kind of living out your worst nightmare as a parent.
This is the first time your news leader is getting a look at Kendra Scott in person for her bond hearing. She was also ordered to stay away from the victim's family. Scott is charged with fatally shooting Rodarius Morton at her home along the 3000 block of Travis Road. She reportedly told investigators, quote, "I did what I had to do."
Stop right there. Thank you for your comments and your donations. Is that confirmed that the daughter Ubered the guy to the house? Is that confirmed?
Expect anybody to be able to act in a cool, calm manner, premeditate any sort of action is just unrealistic. I think even the best of us, the worst of us, any of us would be acting irrationally given this set of circumstances.
Morton died from a gunshot wound to the back of his head. Investigators say he was allegedly invited to Scott's residence by a juvenile and entered through the back door at 1 a.m. Scott's attorneys say at this moment they are unsure if the state's new stand your ground law will play a part in this case as they await doorbell footage and an autopsy report.
I don't know enough about what led to the actual shooting. I don't know if there was a scuffle. I don't know if it was an accidental discharge. I just don't know.
The juvenile told police Scott previously told her if she saw a boy in the home, she would shoot him.
It's my understanding that Ms. Scott did not know this person. And I don't know how they met. That's something we'll look into. My guess is that this was somebody who was looking for young people online, and he found a vulnerable 13-year-old, and you know what happened next.
Scott's next appearance in court will be August 3rd. We'll be sure to keep you updated both on air and online.
Stop right there. I see some of your comments. Anybody want to call in with regards to this story? I don't want to speculate too much because we're talking about a minor here. Let's finish up.
Reporting for your news leader, Braille Brown, WREG News Channel 3.
Sit tight in the phone queue. My show producer, Deeds, sent me a text message. She says, yes, her daughter called an Uber for the guy. Whoa. Wow, that's crazy. Thank you for your patience. Area code 860. Please watch the language.
Oh,
Good afternoon.
I get it. Hey, it's Bethy, and I am a member.
Hey, Bethy, how are you?
How you doing?
Good to hear from
I'm
you.
good. Well, I have two things to say about both instances, both
Come on.
conversations, if you don't mind, and I will watch my potty mouth.
Come on.
But I'm sorry, your last caller, I can actually tell that, you can always tell when there's a typical fat black dude on the phone with extra chin talking on the phone about a case. I'm sorry. I just got to put that out there.
Bethany, I have to jump in.
He's over 300.
Bethany, please, dear, listen to me, dear.
Okay.
What we don't let happen here on the show, one caller attacking another
Okay.
caller. Please don't do that. And I don't have to speak in his defense, but hold on. No. Gene Richmond is actually, I think he's 5'9", possibly 5'10". He's actually, he works out in the gym. So, yeah, he's not one of those, as you just described, guys. But go ahead.
All right. Well, all right. I won't even say anything about that case in particular because it's just not enough information for me to come up with a determination and call a race card because nobody's really given real, solid information so we can make a determination. But as far as this...
Well, hold on a second, because you have called in before. Oh. Stay with me. I appreciate your knowledge, your wisdom. You're close to my generation or older. I forget. Are you 63?
No, I'm not. Oh, my goodness. I'm not in my 60s yet. I'm Generation X. I'm with LL Cool J.
Okay.
And
you're in your 50s. You're in your 50s.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
My focus is that Nolan Wells' so-called friend there, Warren Hudson, he said in the interview that I played with Officer Tatum, he never went to Nolan's home. What do you think about that? Is that odd to claim someone is your best friend, but you've never sat in their living room? You've never spent any time at their home, I don't know, playing pool, playing cards? You find that to be odd?
Yeah, and I do find that to be odd. And I could tell he was pretty nervous, too, while speaking. So I still can't call it because everybody has too many conclusions of what happened. So it's hard for me to really tell. I like to hear more of what the attorney was reading of the autopsy. That would help me.
I'm going to get to that. Okay. Go ahead, dear. Take your time. Where else you want to go?
Well, okay. Enough of that one. But as far as the lady, shooting and unliving a guy, 20 years old, her daughter's 13. The first thing I can think of, all right, yep, her daughter, 13 years old, Ubered him over there. Okay, let's say that did happen. And he's under the bed. You come home, your baby's 13. To me, 13-year-old, you're my baby. That's my baby. I'm sorry. And if I see somebody hiding under her bed, and the first thing I'm going to think, and I was a strict mom with my daughter. Okay. And a 13-year-old, no, this guy did not just come and break my daughter's virginity. I'm freaking out. So I'm sorry. I probably would have did the same thing. But you got it. I was very strict with my daughter. My daughter's 34 now.
Okay.
And I know if I come home from work and see that, and he's 20 years old and she's 13, how many 13-year-olds don't admire older boys in their 20s that's like really cute?
Right.
But, I'm sorry. I probably would have flipped out too, thinking everything. Now I got to go get my daughter.
I don't think she flipped out. I think she was focused.
After,
I think she was focused. She told him to get up, walked him out. It's not like, she was busting shots in the house, chasing him. She was calm with it.
oh,
Walked him out to the door as he stepped over the little foyer area there. Pow! Hit him in the back of the head.
oh my goodness. See, I didn't hear that part. I'm glad you told me. Now that's a different view.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Whoa.
Your phone's breaking up, dear.
I don't know.
I appreciate you. Go ahead and try and land your plane, but your phone's breaking up. Go ahead.
No, I think I'm all right, but that is a different view. Thanks for telling me that. That's a different view.
Okay.
So no, if she did that, I don't think it was, good to take him out like that or do that. But thank you, Brad.
Bye now. Bye now. Your phone's breaking up. Live chat. Members only. Do you think that if the young man who was in his 20s would have begged for his life and apologized, she wouldn't have shot him? I'm looking at live chat. No, Mammy, please. Mammy, I'm sorry. Mammy, I screwed up. This won't happen again. Please, Mammy. Oh, my goodness. Folks, the war on mammies is real, but you know what we have to respect? I hate to say it. Mammy is not pussy on the trigger. Mammy's not pussy on the trigger. Call in. I want to hear some of you fathers. Could you have taken it to where Mammy took it? Oh, she's a mammy. Look at her hair in the goddamn courtroom. Too busy to do her hair. Got them locks. Mammy's not pussy on the trigger. Say what you want to say about her. Could he have begged? Please, in the name of Jesus, don't put my lights out. I will never come back. Area code 602. Please watch the language. Good afternoon.
Appreciate you having me on, Star. This Thoughts. I'm calling from Arizona by way of Long Beach.
Yes, sir. Can you come a little closer to the phone, sir? It sounds like you're driving. I appreciate the call.
Okay, can you hear me? Can you hear me better now?
There you go. Yes, sir. So we have two topics. Nolan Wells, so-called white friend, never went to his home. Or the mother down there in Memphis shot the guy in the back of the head, allegedly put his lights out.
I want to kind of start with the shooting in the back of the head of the 20-year-old boy.
Come on.
Now, I may be a little biased with this because I've been working in the field for the developmentally disabled and the mentally ill for the last 15 years. So I've been trained. I've been writing individual, plans. I've been, person-centered support plans. I've been working with this field for a while, and there's a lot of different nuances to this. So when I'm looking at the situation, I see the young man they say was 20 years old. The only reason why I haven't rushed to judgment yet is because I don't know what he was technically diagnosed with and what were his, limitations. Because the thing is, and especially in the Black community, we think that every person that, has a disability is supposed to look like Benjamin Button, you know what I mean? Or Simon Birch, At the end of the day, you have people that have these diagnoses, disabilities. They look regular, just like me and you. They may be 20, 30, 40, 50 years old. Mentally and cognitively, they're from anywhere from 2 to 10 years old, right? And even with that young mindset, even in the older body, they still have an older body, which works and still has desires. You know what I mean? So before I would rush to judgment in this case, I would want to know what his diagnosis was. It's a good chance he might not have understood the consequences of his actions, right? And a lot of things that we have to deal with in this field is teaching these individuals logical consequences, right and wrong, personal space, things like that they may not necessarily grasp because their brain works different. Okay. Now, in general,
can I say something real quick? And I appreciate your knowledge on this topic. I do not have knowledge here with regards to certain evaluations and mental health, so on and so forth. You said he may not have been conscious. Did you say conscious of his decisions that we said?
No. I'm sorry. He may not have he may not have been aware.
Aware. Okay. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Sir, hold on a second. Is he aware now of his actions? Is he aware now?
Yeah. I mean, he has no choice but to be aware wherever he's at. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Now, if I'm a father, right, and my daughter, you know, has a young man under the bed, I don't know if I'd kill him, but he's definitely getting pistol whipped. He's definitely getting beat. You know what I mean? I'm definitely making an example of him, especially if I found he's 20 years old, because he's legal to fight. You know what I mean? Now, the killing part was a little extreme. Not only the killing part, but the fact you shot him in the back of the head. I could see if, like, let's say she even said he resisted to leave, or he, you know, had any type of, you know, disagreement about moving around. Then I could see her saying, you know, hey, I don't know about this young man. I got to protect my family. Even in that, I could understand. But the fact he was walking away and you shot him in the back of the head lets me know that was a, you know, I don't know what went through your head that time, but something angered you and you just decided to kill him. You know what I mean? Whether it was for protection or not, it may not be seen that way in court. You know what I mean? And then there's other stories circulating about how, you know, she...
Well, hang on a second, sir. Before we get to other stories, I want us to deal with what we have. And again, I appreciate your knowledge in this area of discussion. I can only speculate. You said if you are a father, so you're not a father?
No, I'm saying if that was my daughter, like, I am a father. So I had 3 daughters.
Okay. Now, you know, no one condones shooting someone in the back of the head, but now, how old are you?
I'm 42 years old.
Okay. You said you would have pistol whipped the young man as opposed to shot him if you were in that situation.
Yeah, I mean, if it was a gun involved, I'm just saying overall, he would have got.
I hear you, sir, but now hang on. Let's take our time here. You know, we're talking about a female, a mother. I can't tussle with these young niggas. They're wearing bulletproof skinny jeans. They charged up on some type of goddamn Spice K2. He may have been talking greasy walking out the door. I'm going to take that gun from you, bitch. I'm going to come back, you know, as they do, right? I'm going to see you.
Right.
Oh, they talk hella greasy. I'm going to get you. Maybe she said no. Hey, hang on, sis. Hold on. Maybe she said, no, you're not going to get me. You're going to get got. Pow. So I'm just, you know, I know this is all hypotheticals, but, you know, you saying you would have pistol whipped him, sir. You know, a lot of us older guys, I'm much older than you. I can't tussle with these young niggas today. These young super predators. And you saying you would pistol whip him, sir. You don't think there's a good chance he would take that gun from you, pow, and put your lights out?
I don't know, man. I'm pretty active, man. You know what I mean? I'm out.
Okay.
I don't know, man. I'm willing to take that risk. I mean, if it's my child, I'm willing to take that risk.
You take that risk.
You know what I mean? I'm not saying that I'm going to be undefeated and nothing can happen to me, but in that moment, I probably won't care about none of that.
Okay.
It's my child, you know? And I wouldn't disregard that, you know, that maybe that happened. Like, when I bring up the fact that he had that mental diagnosis, I want to know first. I'm not ruling out the fact that he might have known and still did what he did. That can still be a case, right? But I wouldn't want to just jump to that conclusion and just say, oh, he's a 20-year-old man with a 13-year-old girl. That's wrong, flat out. No, there's always context. There's always a story behind it. And if we don't look into that, then we're just being led astray and we can just be moved any other kind of way, you know, and I don't move like that. I want to know the context.
I appreciate the call. Do you want to touch on the other topic? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll be real quick with the Crump stuff. But again, the fact that he talked like Pootie Tang is just something to make fun of him on. You know what I mean? My biggest concern with Ben Crump is that whenever he's attached to a case, there's only money involved.
Yeah.
And I watched that whole, you know, autopsy review. It felt like a sermon. It felt like they were just preaching to us, getting us emotionally in charge and stuff. He bringing up the LeBron James.
Oh my God.
Decision and saying.
Hold on. I haven't even played that video yet. Didn't he say Steph?
Oh, my bad.
Didn't he say Steph Curry? He didn't say Steph Curry. What did he say?
You Steph Curry, Pauletta, Georgia, you know, Kawhi Leonard,
But he said
Pastor
Steph
Pork Chop was struggling.
Curry or something. It wasn't Curry. And then he kept saying the NAACP. Listen, so I appreciate the call. Salute.
All right, salute. Appreciate you having me on.
Yes, sir. Thank you. This is not a laughing matter, but you know what we're not going to say here today is that Mammy was pussy on the trigger. I can't tussle with you, young man. You might be a little slow. You might have a Down syndrome or something or other, but you know, you've crossed my threshold. I ain't got much. I'm driving an old beat up hoopty with bald tires. Got my baby here. She might not be worth a goddamn, but that's my baby. Here you come bringing some exotic weed, something to get her tipsy. And then she gonna try and leave me with the baby as she's down there at the club twerking. You gotta go. Pow! Everybody sit tight. Thank you for your donations. Hey, left-handed, peace. What's going on? Do you need to call in? Left-handed, he says Knicks in 5. Folks, in case you don't know, left-handed was at the New York Knicks parade. He was on, was it CBS or NBC? Go to his YouTube channel. It's the homie right there. AJ, I got your donation. AJ says you arrive at 10 and leave at 4. Rushed something up. Okay, thank you for your cash app. If you have a special needs teacher, man. Okay, I don't know if I can get to that right now, but what's going on? Somebody sending me something about special needs. Okay, hold on a second, everybody. K-Rel got your donation. Number 9 vaguely resembles Clarence Thomas. AJ also says you arrive at 10:30 and leave at 4. BS, something's up. Okay. Let me get this caller in here. Thank you for your patience. Area code 786. Please watch the language. Good afternoon. 786.
Good afternoon, Star.
Yes, sir. How are you?
What's up, Star? Star, and I just wanted to ask you a question as well. Like, they haven't followed up with this so-called girl that he got left with. Nobody has identified her or any of that.
You're talking about Nolan Wells? Nolan Wells, sir?
Yeah, Nolan Wells. Yeah. They said that he stayed on the island for a girl, which obviously doesn't make any sense. But, you know, none of the investigators have talked to this girl, located this girl. Out of all the people they may have talked to or investigated, where is this so-called girl? And apparently, and I'm sure you're aware of this, Star, there's missing evidence from the original autopsy, concerning organs and stuff that are not present. So,
but now hold on a second so that we don't just throw something out there. When you conduct an autopsy, certain organs are taken out and then put into a plastic bag and put back in the body. So, I want to say that first. Before that really picks up a lot of traction. Oh my God, that took his organs. I watched part of the Ben Crump, and the NAACP talking, and when he addressed the organs, you heard a black woman in the back. Lord Jesus, they took his organs. But in autopsies, that is standard procedure to take organs out, put them in the bag, and put them back in. Go ahead.
Right, but at this point, shouldn't they have followed up by now with the information on those missing organs? I mean, that's important to find out if there was like strangulation or if there was drowning. From my understanding, from my research, there was no bloating, which means that, if he were to drown, basically his body would start, bloating. So when they found him, there was no bloating. I'm like you, Star. I think there was foul play at hand. I think something happened, and there's a big cover.
Well, hold on a second. So hold on. I didn't say there was foul play. I am saying white supremacy is on full display. You don't have to choose white supremacy. It chooses you. To be clear, and we see a common thread of silence right now. People are on code, so to speak. They are suppressing the truth so that lawsuits don't get the fly-in, people don't get arrested. Maybe they, in their minds, those who are partaking in this white supremacy, that's what I'm saying, maybe they think a mistake was made. And, you know, listen, Nolan was a great guy, but he didn't own a boat. He was lower tier. He was the court jester. And I don't say that to attack his character. So I just want to be clear. I'm saying white supremacy, and I don't usually go there. Go ahead.
I'm with you, sir. I mean, there's a code of silence.
Sir, you're on a speakerphone. We can't do that. You're on a headset. We can't do that.
Oh, hold on. Let me take myself off.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say I'm with you, Star, on that. There's a code of silence.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think that listen, Star, I don't know if you've seen it, but on TikTok the other day, I seen another young man who was basically in the same situation as Nolan Wells. He was with his white friends.
All right, sir, I don't want to go into different directions unless I have that story in front of me, but I appreciate the call.
Oh, thank you, Star. Peace out.
Thank you. K-Rel, thank you for your donation, sir. In America, everything is race, if not class. That's a fact. I am, and most of you are, if not all of you, are a product of propaganda, racism, and white supremacy. Are we not? It doesn't hinder me. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful eye-opener at times. I've told you this before. I don't want to keep going back into my childhood in the 70s, but, you know, hey, people knew me as Troy Terrain, the uppity mulatto kid, you know. Never wanted to fit in. I've told you before, I went to pick up a buddy of mine. His mother came to the door, 1974. I was 10 years old. She said, Troy, you're a good kid, but you got no good in you. And I would appreciate if you wait across the street for Robbie. I just smiled and I said, copy. He said, you're just a little too influential. He's starting to talk like you, act like you. Just wait over there. He'll be out shortly. K-Rel sends another donation, waiting for number 9 to bleach his skin. Okay. Okay. One more call, then I have to get back to the videos here. Good afternoon. Please watch the language. We got 2 topics on the table. Are you there? 201.
Hey, what's going on, Star?
Yes, sir.
Been a huge supporter since back in the day.
Are you a member, sir? Are you a member?
I'll become a member.
Okay, well, become a member and get back to me. I'm busy right now. Thank you. I don't need you calling here stroking my ego, goddamn. It's members on your live chat. You see? Troy Terrain, he's a little too sure of himself. Oh, there you are, Janet, area code 973.
Hey, what's going on, sir?
White supremacy, if you ask me, that's what's going on. White folk on code.
Yeah.
White folk on code.
Yeah. Yeah. It seems so. Well, I was calling in for Miss Scott, who shot the young man in the back of the head.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think she should have shot him twice. I think she should have shot him twice because it would have showed anger.
Okay.
I think she should have shot him twice.
Right.
Because my whole thing is that girl's 13, and for folks to say that the girl was this or the girl was that, that's irrelevant. That's irrelevant to this. The girl is 13 years old. Right. Her mind is not developed. And maybe she is going through some type of trauma in her own home. Maybe they need to investigate that. And maybe they need to investigate what's going on at her school, because of why a 13-year-old is so fixated on having boys around. That shows a sign as, something is wrong there. So everybody needs to be investigated. The school, her home, and the boys' home. Everything needs to be investigated. But my whole thing is, I tell you once and I told you before, if Oh my God, if something like that was to happen to one of my babies, oh my God. You know what? I'll be sitting in jail right now, happily.
But Janet, you don't have daughters, right? You don't have any daughters.
Yeah, but you know you know my niece. So
No. I don't know your niece. I'm familiar with your niece, but you don't have any quote unquote daughters. So
no.
Okay.
No, but my niece is like my daughter.
Okay.
And Lord forgive me, but no, I sought the whole earth. I swear to God.
Okay.
I swear to God. If something's to happen to oh my God, I can't even imagine that. I'm serious. That is just crazy. And then for her to be charged, that woman is going through an emotional state. She's still worried about her daughter. She done took a life, something she probably never ever done. So that it's just everything is so shocking and new to her. And then they go and put handcuffs on her. You know, and then every day we read it in the blogs and the newspapers about this sort of thing.
Can I jump in, Janet?
Just let go.
Can I jump in?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She's from Memphis, Tennessee. I'm not sure if she was born and raised there. We're talking about the mother right now. I don't know if she ever shot anybody or killed anybody in the past, but we're dealing with what we have right now. And please keep me posted on the story because you do great research. The bond right now is $100,000. She's still locked up to my knowledge. Do they have some type of stand your ground in Memphis? Because he came into the home and the minor cannot give authority. So we have a mother who is dealing with, technically, if you ask me, an intruder. Yes, no?
Yes. And oh my God, Star, this is so crazy how people could sit up here and debate should she be arrested or not. That's her daughter. That man was grown, mentally incapable or whatever. He was still grown. You don't know we don't know what conversation took place in that house, what he was saying, anything. The article in People says that his family didn't even know he left the house. You understand what I'm saying? His people say they didn't even know he had left the house at 1:30 in the morning. What is going on?
Well,
what is going on?
He was in his 20s, so I mean, whether his family knew or not, everybody, and I don't mean to be funny, everybody is clear now, right? Crystal clear. Everything has been addressed. She's going to have her day in court. I hope they give her a plea deal. A plea deal. Again, I can't speak to this matter from the experience of a parent, but I can only imagine, you correct me if I'm wrong, you've raised kids, that at some point you get fed up. Hey, I can't control you. I can't control this situation. I'm busting my ass. We live in the slums. All we have is our dignity. And you have now brought shame into the home. Can you speak to that? And also, do you want to say anything else with regards to Nolan Wells before you go, Janet?
Star, as far as bringing shame in the home, the girl was 13 years old. The girl should be playing with paddle balls and jacks. I don't even know what this, this generation is evolving so fast. It's crazy. It's crazy. But my whole thing is this. The lady, we got to get her, is there any place to donate for her bond? Something has to be done.
Keep me posted on that.
Something has to be done.
Keep me posted on that.
Yeah, something has to be done because this is awful. This woman is in purgatory. She is in purgatory right now because this is unbelievable. Unbelievable. So, and as far as Nolan concerned, listen, they know it is the.
I'm sorry, Janet, hold on a second. My show producer, Deeds, says under Tennessee state law, individuals have no duty to retreat before using force in self-defense under Tennessee state law. So she didn't have any duty to retreat. You don't cross the goddamn line. You up here creeping up under beds. You talking crazy to me on your way out the door. I want you to go have this conversation with Jesus. Bye.
Amen. 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 You said it right there. You said it right there, Star. Go have that conversation with Jesus. Because I don't know, maybe I'm a little crazy, but let me tell you something. I was salt to earth. I pray to God to destroy the whole earth, everybody and everything in it, anything breathing and walking or crawling, swimming or whatever. I'm telling you, don't mess with my kids. Don't mess with mine. But Nolan, this thing is that it's the flip side of what happened. It's the flip side, because my whole thing is I'm trying to remember the young man named Anthony.
Can I ask you, Janet, when you get time, do a little research, see if Nolan or his family owned a boat, because I have a feeling, and I don't mean to be, insensitive, that Nolan was he was part of the flock. He always went to the white boys' homes. He knew their parents and their family, but they never went to his home. So did his family own a boat? Was he the class clown? Did he entertain? Was he the court jester? And did he make an honest mistake trying to push up on a girl that, they didn't feel comfortable with him trying to push on? But let me take other calls. I appreciate you, Janet.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye, Star.
Okay. Guys, can I just play this video here for a second? Hold on a second here. I found this to be so entertaining. And I have to be honest with myself. In the 80s, I dated quite a bit of girls like AOC. Boricua, Dominican, a couple of Cuban, Colombians. Oh my God, her accent, she's code switching, talking jive. Keep your eye on when she says behind, down in Memphis, Tennessee. AOC. Where is that goddamn video?
Cannot afford to leave Tennessee behind. We cannot afford to leave Kentucky behind, Alabama behind, Mississippi behind, Georgia behind, South Carolina behind.
Now, she said behind with a D at first. And then she goes into the whole, talking jive thing. Behind. One more time.
We cannot afford to leave Tennessee behind. We cannot afford to leave Kentucky behind, Alabama behind, Mississippi behind, Georgia behind, South Carolina behind.
Kind of reminds you of Kamala Harris talking about, what does she say, washing collard greens in the bathtub? One more time.
We cannot afford to leave Tennessee behind. We cannot afford to leave Kentucky behind, Alabama behind, Mississippi behind, Georgia behind, South Carolina behind.
I dated girls just like her in the 80s. Oh my goodness. One more time.
We cannot afford to leave Tennessee behind. We cannot afford to leave Kentucky behind, Alabama behind, Mississippi behind, Georgia behind, South Carolina behind.
Any comments, or do we just keep it pushing? I'm laughing because I had a Puerto Rican girlfriend, I think it was 1984. I sent her to Banco Popular to try and get a loan. Do they still have Banco Popular? And she couldn't speak in a proper English dialect enough. Everything was just hood slang, and I'm trying to teach this bitch how to talk in proper English, it was as best I knew how to, so she could get us a loan. Oh my God. Oh my God. Area code 201, please. Watch the language. Good afternoon. 2 topics on the table.
Yeah, what's up, Star?
Yes,
Yeah, I'm officially a troll, baby.
Okay.
I wasn't trying to stroke your ego, and I was just trying to say that I've been a supporter for a long time.
Okay, well, listen, sir, with all due respect, are you a member? What's going on? Because this is members only. I can't just take calls from random people if you don't believe
I became a member. I did it.
Oh,
I'm
just
a troll,
now.
baby. I paid.
Hold
Yeah, I just did it like I told you.
Okay, I'm checking. Okay, go ahead. You have the floor, sir. Go ahead. Pardon me. I'm funny style. You know I'm funny style. Go ahead.
No, yeah, no doubt. So first of all, I mean, what the lady did, she let him off real easy. I mean, I would have probably handcuffed him, put him in the basement and did a couple things with him. But I'm gonna just get past that because obviously, playing with my kids, and I've been blessed with 2 sons. Thank God I didn't have a daughter, because I couldn't even imagine what I would do to somebody like that, right? So that's what it comes down to. So I'm just gonna say, let that woman go. All right, she
free mammy
deal. Let that woman go.
Free mammy.
All right, so that's all I gotta say about that, because I know that's gonna go in a whole nother direction or whatever. And like I said, I'm just happy to see you still doing your thing. I just want to know, is Buck Wild okay? And
he's in his skin, sir. Can you Google him? This is not the Star and Buck Wild show, sir. But
I know that. I know that. But like I said, I already know the history or whatever. And
okay, well, sir, it's not time for that right now. Stay on topic. Thank you.
Okay, no.
He's in his skin, sir. Cam Newton and Ryan Clark fired from ESPN. Anybody care? Anybody care? Cam Newton. Cam Newton was a really, really good quarterback. He never won the big one. Highly skilled. But I didn't care for his analysis and commentary at times. I like when Cam Newton gets focused and he's serious. And I felt like on ESPN, he was falling into that Stephen A. Smith theatrics thing. Yes, no? When Cam gets focused and serious, he's the man. He's the man. Yeah, what is it? Yeah, handcuffed and did a couple of things. I didn't get that. The last caller, what was he talking about? Handcuffing the guy in the basement and doing things to him. Ooh, chow. Let me get back to my show notes here. Hold on a second, guys. Okay, hold on a second. I have a video to play. I want you to tap in. Let's take a moment away from the nonsense, please. Jacksonville, Florida. Are you guys up to speed? If you get my show notes, because I sent out my show notes to roughly 10 to 15 people. We have a young man in Jacksonville, Florida. He logged 100 hours reading to pets. Isn't that beautiful? This is what we call a feel-good video. We'll get back to the nonsense shortly. Pay attention. Jacksonville, Florida. Here we go.
Thank you. For more than 2 years, Nehemiah has walked into the Jacksonville Humane Society with his grandma.
I read to dog.
Book in hand, he cozies up with animals in need of some attention. Not just a belly rub or a treat, but a good book.
Soothing, feels good, calm to the animals. Not like a whole bunch of barking is happening.
Through the glass, he's able to capture his audience of one.
A trunk of wood appears black.
The 11-year-old has racked up more than 100 volunteer hours through the Positive Reading Program, the first in the program's history.
100 hours read here at the shelter is such an amazing accomplishment over 2 years. I mean, That's some serious dedication for a young person like Nehemiah.
And that dedication pays off for both him and the pets waiting to get adopted.
I had quarter one, wasn't that, but quarter two and quarter three I had AB honor roll, but now quarter four I have all A's.
Heading into 6th grade, a straight A student, including reading, of course.
This is a place where we can put the tablet and the electronics down, pick up a good old-fashioned book, and read to somebody who really wants to hear your voice. I mean, how can you beat that?
I asked Nehemiah, after he hit 100 hours, what could his next chapter look like?
What's next? I think they got to set up new hours. I think I set up like 110, 150, and then 200 hours.
Looks like for now, his summer is fully booked.
Bye, Jazzy. I hope you have a great day. I hope you sleep well.
In Jacksonville, Shay Simon, Action News Shack.
How about that? Jacksonville, Florida, stand up. I did the research. He's foundational Black American, too. He's not Hispanic or anything. Peace. There he is, tapping in, left-handed. Thursday afternoon.
Peace. What's good, Star?
How are you, man?
First of all, I want to start off by saying, man, we need more of that, right? I'm not even being affected by ones who might try to be funny and say something, off-putting or whatever the case may be. This ain't even about you.
Right.
That kid, much respect to him. Taking time out to do something unique.
100 hours reading to
Absolutely.
Pets. Come on.
So that's called putting in work. You won't have to probably won't have to never worry about him and being around any index cards and acting funny like you can't read. Right. But off of that, man, I wanted to tap in regards to the Cam Newton and Ryan Clark thing. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. But
Hold on. Let me get that on the screen, man. I don't want to take any shots, man. But did Ryan Clark did he shoot his load? I mean, I wasn't feeling his. It's like he started to go into this. Back in the days, remember how Deion Sanders used to wear the fly jiggy, double-breasted suits and all that sort of jazzy? He pioneered that. Deion. And Ryan Clark seemed like he was going in that direction with all this, the clothing. I'm like, what? Just give me a suit and tie, man. What happened? Or was it just time to go? Ryan and Cam.
It could be a mixture of all of that. The suit thing and trying to be flyer than the next guy and all of this. But Ryan Clark brought real facts to the table.
Yeah.
Ryan Clark brought his experience, his expertise to the table in regards to the football thing. Now, here's what I would say, Star, in regards to that.
Come on.
A lot of cats sometimes they feel like if they're sports reporters, they can analyze and talk and discuss any sport. And I don't feel like that should be the case, because sometimes these cats are a little bit out of their league when they try to talk about other sports. As far as Cam Newton is concerned, I think I agree with what you said. When you put Cam Newton, you take him outside of the aspect of him just doing what he does, and then you put him in that Disney box.
Yeah.
When you put him in that Disney box, you could do what you want to do, but you can only do so much, if you know what I'm saying. So
he's probably a great guy, if I had to guess, Cam Newton. And I try not I try not to judge him off of his attire, the zesty, accusations, and some type of weird writing he's been doing, and it's a bit much. But I loved the fact that here we had a top tier quarterback giving commentary. Do you think that, and maybe this is a stretch, do you think that him talking to Jason Whitlock, who I rock with heavy, do you think that was what the bosses, as Stephen A. Smith says, the bosses, they said, we don't need that type of disloyalty here. Do you think that's why they got him out the door?
You know what, Star, and a lot of people, I pay attention to it. This is what ESPN does, right? They acquired the NFL network, so they had to cut some of their losses. I remember last year, a couple years ago, whatever, they got rid of Keyshawn Johnson and a bunch of people. So, to say that,
Keyshawn Johnson was that nigga, right? He wrote a book, Just Give Me the Damn Ball. Go ahead.
Absolutely. To say that Ryan Clark, might have went out, colored outside the lines a little bit, you might be right. But ESPN, it was time for them to cut some of their losses.
Okay.
So Ryan Clark, what's the other guy Bart Scott, Carl Revich, who did baseball for 33 years on ESPN.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Some of those guys, it was time for them that they had to go. But
time to go.
Ryan Clark and Cam Newton, man. You also got to understand that they're not beat behind this. And what I mean by that is not Cam Newton and Ryan Clark's not going to be begging for jobs.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I just feel like, in my opinion, that Cam and Ryan we're kind of like going outside the lines a little bit as far as ESPN and Disney's concerned.
Right.
And they ain't gonna let Stephen A. Smith go. They're not gonna let Pat McAfee go. They're not gonna let a bunch of people go that they
Can I jump in?
Dealing with.
Can I jump in?
Go ahead. Come on.
I'm not accusing him, but I think Stephen A. Smith has a lot of power behind the scenes, and he could be the person who tips the scale at times. He loves to make reference to the bosses, the bosses. I'm not going to attack his character, but he appears to be the type that, if the bosses needed to get a confirmation or some type of insight, he would be more than willing to sit down and give a full description and then think on behalf of the bosses. Hey, also before I forget, is he on some type of daytime show now, or was that what was I watching? Was that just a test? Stephen A. Smith, he's on one of those soap operas now. Yes, no?
General Hospital, yo.
Is it?
He's on General Hospital. He's playing a character named Brick. And I just don't know where they got that from, but that's he's on General Hospital off and on.
Left-handed?
You know what I mean?
Left-handed?
Yes, sir. Sir.
He's got some acting skills. I have to keep it real. Steven Dees, my show producer, Dees sent me a clip. Dees, just so have that clip. He's got some acting skills. I just had to say that. Come on.
I'm gonna leave that right there. But I think that he acted like he sure did act like he wanted Cam Newton and Ryan Clark around, right? Until the bosses said no.
Right.
But again, for me, man, I Stephen A. I've interacted with him on a couple of occasions or whatever.
Okay.
But again, he's doing what he has to do, man. He's making himself known. He's getting his resume together. He's getting his chops up because again, Disney pays his checks.
Right.
So he's gonna have to do what he has to do to keep his parking space and all that. But I'm gonna land my plan on that start.
Whoa. Before you go, what's going on with your New York Knicks? You went to the parade. I tell everybody you were there all day.
Yeah.
What was it? What you did that interview? Was it ABC, NBC?
It was CBS, man.
You were on CBS. People need to go to your platform down in sports. What's going on with your New York Knicks, sir?
It's the off season. We're just enjoying the fruits of the labor right now, man. Doing a lot of things. I hear a lot of people talking, but this is what separates the English from the Dutch, man. People that just still talking about, trying to get a certain dude from LA. We don't want that, right? So now all I do is sit back now. I'm an off season star. I sit back and I look. Shout out to CP. No, respect to CP, respect to Boris and everybody, man. But we're just enjoying the fruits of our labor. Because we enjoyed our championship that we haven't got in 53 years, right? That's where I'm at with it. And make sure you check us out, man. Every Tuesday, myself and y'all the Bears down in sports, man. Tuesday from 8 to 9, man. We're in the building. Salute Star every time. I appreciate you, dog.
Yes, sir. Okay. It's the homie left-handed. Hey, Stacy Galore. It's one of my sponsors and a great human being. The Tennessee case with Kendra Scott, the outcome will depend on the evidence collected. From the info given, it seems like first-degree murder. Morton was led into the home. www.stacygalore.com/business. Thank you, Stacy Galore. But technically, the minor has no legal authority to let someone into the home. I could be wrong, but he, to my knowledge, was, past tense, was classified as an intruder. If the adult didn't let him in at a certain hour and the adult did not have knowledge, then you're an intruder. I could be wrong. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, you know. Okay. Deeds sent me. Deeds, is there a you know what? Maybe I shouldn't play that because it's on General Hospital ABC's Instagram page. Is there a YouTube link for that? Maybe I'll download the file. Thank you, Deeds. I'll see if I can download the file, all right? Okay. K-Rella got your donation. Women like AOC and Kamala have the best snatch. I laughed so hard when I watched that goddamn video. Hold on a second.
We cannot afford to leave Tennessee behind. We cannot afford to leave Kentucky behind, Alabama behind, Mississippi behind, Georgia behind, South Carolina behind.
This is in Memphis, Tennessee. AOC from up north down there talking about the North needs to pull up on the South.
We cannot afford to leave Tennessee behind. We cannot afford to leave Kentucky behind, Alabama behind, Mississippi behind, Georgia behind, South Carolina behind.
Oh my God. I'm having flashbacks of that, ex-girlfriend who I tried to work with her, but she's Puerto Rican, but she was so ghetto. I said, yo, you got to tell him this and just bring the paperwork outside. We'll go to the coffee shop, 158th and Broadway. They had a coffee shop. We'll go to the coffee shop. I'll fill it out and you take it back. And then she's getting frustrated, smoking a Newport. And she said, I'm trying not to curse at her. She says, why you do that for? Why you do that for? You making me mad. K-Rel, got your donation? Okay. It's almost time for my 2-hour break. Hold on a second, guys. Okay, someone was on the line and then they dropped out. K-Rel says, go have that convo with Jesus. Preach. Yeah, it's a reality. It's a sad reality, but hey. Deeds, I got your email. Thank you so much. Let me get back to my show notes here. Something else I wanted to play for you guys. Does anybody care about I never met Charleston White. I respect what he has done in the past in terms of putting boots to the ground, working with at-risk youth. He's a troll, yes, he admits it, but Charleston White put in a lot of work. He was recently in Houston, Texas. I forget the woman's name. She wears the cowboy hat. She does the damn thing, but Charleston was at her event. Somebody outside took a shot in the air. But was this a birthday celebration for her? What is her name? Is it Denise? Dr. Matthews, pardon me. She's an official doctor. Let me get the 11:11. Let me get the timestamp here. The crowd is talking. I found this to be interesting. This came out yesterday. Let's enjoy it, okay? Charleston White getting at the crowd, Maybe they had a DJ and maybe they had too much food for black people, you know, distractions from what they were trying to say at this event. Here we go.
Okay, Charles. Hey, Charles, in that conversation, can you come out? Say, hey, listen, I know a lot of y'all ain't paying attention. I know a lot of y'all ain't paying attention. Y'all think a lot of what she's saying is bullshit. But listen, the power lies in the booth. If you can't start at the bottom of the political process, you can't wait 4 years to try to elect your president to have power. Power starts right here. You don't know nobody in the city that can get a white elected official to come down to talk to a bunch of drunk niggas that won't even listen. They won't even listen. You can't get nobody in the city that'll get a white elected official that'll come talk to a bunch of drunk niggas who won't even listen. They ain't even stop talking. So the next time you have one of these events, you gotta take the drunk niggas out of the mix. Because the drunk niggas that's still talking while the political process is talking, they don't go to the polls. The niggas that's still talking right now, these gonna be the same niggas complaining when we go back to slavery. They gonna vote us back to slavery. Why? Because we don't have permanent rights. Say, drunk niggas. All the drunk niggas, listen up. 33% of your kids in Houston cannot read on or above their grade level. And I see why. Because when proper information is given, niggas get dumb. Niggas get stupid when real information come along. But I done seen.
Say what you want. I respect him for talking to these niggas as they're talking about their orders, whatever. And he's going hard in the paint. Salute to this man.
Niggas fill up the building. I done seen niggas come down here just because I'm here because they looking for trouble. They looking for trouble. But nigga, we got political elected officials here. We got county commissioners here. The person who got access to the files in the county run the county. Dumb niggas. Come on, John. During the pandemic, the mayor didn't shut the city down. It was the county commissioner. The microphone dead. The nigga that ain't got the battery charged up for the proper information.
In my experience, when you have events where, you know, people are going to be speaking or there is some type of undertone of business, you can't have food being ordered, drinks, and a DJ. People will get into their own conversation and then you will just be a person on the microphone. Yes, no? Again, that man has put boots to the ground with at-risk youth, and I respect it about him. But, you know, that particular video there, you know, is circulating on the internet. Okay, one more. Blade, are you out there? Blade, I sent you my show notes. Guys, if you're a member and you want my show notes sometimes, email me. And when I send out the bullet points of the things that I like to talk about, I'll put you on that list. Up in New York City, Mayor Mamdani, who has been causing quite a stir over the last couple of months, has been trying to find ways to arrest Benjamin Netanyahu. You guys up to speed in the live chat? I got two videos to play here before my break. Let me get this on the screen. This is pretty important. This is pertaining to the mayor of New York City trying to arrest the prime minister of Israel for war crimes. There is a warrant out for Netanyahu's arrest. Here we go.
I'm national correspondent Kayla Gaskins in Washington. New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani says arresting Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu remains a possibility should the Israeli leader visit the city for the United Nations General Assembly this fall. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is no stranger to New York City. It's home to the largest Jewish population outside of Israel and the United Nations.
We must win.
But if Netanyahu returns for the UN General Assembly this September, he could face a hostile reception. New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani says he's still looking into having Netanyahu arrested.
We're speaking about someone who's the subject of an international criminal court arrest warrant for war crimes, and he's the architect of the genocide against Palestinians in Gaza.
The International Criminal Court issued an arrest warrant for Netanyahu in 2024 for the war in Gaza. The United States, however, does not and never has recognized the ICC's jurisdiction. Mamdani stopped short of saying an arrest would definitely happen.
Whatever the law allows me to do in New York City, that's what we will do.
What does the law allow you to do?
That's an active conversation with our legal department.
But legal experts say he does not have the authority to do so. And President Trump said on Monday, Netanyahu will not be arrested in any way, shape, or form while in the U.S. Mamdani has been threatening the arrest since he was on the campaign trail. Netanyahu appeared unfazed when asked about it last week.
He seems pretty steadfast on arresting you when you get here. Are you nervous that he may try that?
No, I'm not. Who does he champion? Hamas, that calls openly to massacre every Jew on earth.
Pennsylvania Democratic Senator John Fetterman also dismissing the threat.
It's such a tough guy to say that kind of thing. He has no way to do that. He's just a clown to even say that.
Fetterman has also grown critical of Mamdani and other progressive Democrats who've made anti-Israel stances a central part of their political brand. Fetterman even threatening to leave the Democratic Party if anti-Israel positions become part of its official platform. In Washington, I'm Kayla Gaskins.
New York. Now, let me play the mayor, because that video came out 2 days ago. And since then, the mayor of New York City addressed whether he can or cannot arrest Benjamin Netanyahu. So I just want to give you the full context here. Hold on a second. He's going hard in the paint. He wants the prime minister of Israel arrested. What say you? Here we go.
Benjamin Netanyahu is a war criminal, the architect of a horrific genocide against the Palestinian people. He is responsible for the killing of more than 73,000 people, for the maiming of tens of thousands of children as those who survive undergo amputation without anesthesia, for the targeting of neonatal hospitals and maternity care centers, denying newborns even the chance to live, for the countless people he starved as he blocked food and humanitarian aid from reaching them, for the gunning down of hundreds of aid workers and journalists. And just last month, the UN confirmed that Palestinian children continue to be deliberately targeted and killed by Israeli armed forces, more than 8 months after the so-called ceasefire. The list goes on and on, all as we, as Americans, pay for the bombs that do the killing. There is a reason the International Criminal Court issued a warrant for his arrest. As human beings, we have spent generations building a shared understanding that there are crimes so grave they offend all of humanity. Anyone with their eyes, with their heart, with their conscience, should recognize the devastation he has wrought and understand that he belongs before a court of law. As I've said, I agree with the ICC that Benjamin Netanyahu should be arrested and tried for his crimes, as I do for anyone else charged by the ICC. My administration has reviewed every avenue available under applicable law to determine whether New York City could execute the International Criminal Court's arrest warrant if Benjamin Netanyahu came here. It is clear that we do not have the independent legal authority to enforce this warrant. The federal government, however, does, and I call on them to join the ICC and execute this warrant. And I want to be equally clear. Benjamin Netanyahu is not welcome in New York City, nor is any other war criminal at large. While we cannot end the genocide on our own, we can decide whether our silence will become another weapon, and we can examine every tool we have to defend the humanity and dignity of all people. That is my commitment to you.
Okay, New York City Mayor. I'm Donnie. Hold on a second. Area code 704. Good afternoon. Please watch the language. 2 topics on the table. 704.
Hey, what's going on, Star? There was a poor legacy on the check-in.
Hey, what's up, man? How are you?
Yeah, chilling. Yeah, man, he's just full of crap, man, Donnie. You know, he's just trying to appease his constituents. You know, I mean, when you really analyze it, I mean, he really know he doesn't have the authority to to do that. And then, I mean, you saw what he said a few days after he even made that statement. Oh yeah, no, I can't do it. But if the government or Trump or whoever is in power to do so will do it, basically, you know, yeah, he's just talking. You know what I mean?
Well, do you respect the fact that he's even saying it? Because most people in the New York tri-state area would not even go as far as he has.
True. That's right.
Yeah. I mean, that video that I just played, the last one, came out yesterday. So that's his most recent addressing, you know, not being able to arrest Netanyahu. Go ahead.
Yeah. So he stepped up to the plate and did say something like you said, a lot of people probably wouldn't even, you know what I mean, even begin to say something like that out their mouth. But yeah. So
I mean, listen, I'm pro-Israel. I do business.
Yeah, same.
I do business with the Jews. I don't give a goddamn about no Palestine and all that nonsense. But you know, he's talking at a hot-ish, pardon me, Mamdani. So, you know, to be objective, I want other people to see it, and I want them to join the conversation. Hey, man, but I got to pull it back to Nolan Wells or the mother down there in Memphis shooting the guy in the back of the head, allegedly. Any thoughts on those 2 stories?
I mean, like you said, I think Nolan Wells, I mean, it's very tragic, and, you know, they're still kind of working things out to see exactly what happened. But yeah, man, he should have been on guard the whole time. I mean, you hear stories across the country. I mean, sporadically, it's not a big thing with racism. I mean, racism is here and it's here to stay, but it's not like it used to be back in the 40s, the 50s. But he still, I mean, was it his parents' fault? That I would say.
I disagree. I disagree.
Yeah.
I think it's 20 times worse than it was back in the 40s, as you just referenced. But go ahead.
So, I mean, I think his parents kind of failed him in a sense. So basically told him, you know what I mean, teach him, you know, and he seemed like I said, he just hanged around white kids. I mean, that's his choice, but I think we still got to wait for the facts, but, you know, there was some foul play and probably some kind of racist motives or something that, you know, probably went down, you know?
I hear you loud and clear. And when if the facts come out, you know, on a large scale, I don't know if that's going to affect us, you know. I give him the benefit of the doubt, being a young man at 18 years of age. You know, he maybe just wasn't aware of certain things. And again, when I say he may have been under the delusion of inclusion, I'm not trying to condemn him because his life is gone. But in terms of society and how we, you know, work with each other, deal with each other, raise our children, is there anything that you can say now that you think would have some type of impactful meaning? Are you a father?
Yeah, 2 boys. Yeah, okay. I mean, and you know, I used to talk to them all the time. I used to cut their hair when they were young, and you know, some of the things that you even said. You know, I mean, the life you save, and you know, I mean, I'll let them know.
Well, my Puerto Rican uncle said that the life you save will be your own. But now, make no mistake. Not that I was just from a different era, but my mission in life, my objective was very different from someone like a Nolan Wells. And I don't say that to be disrespectful. I took advantage of everything and everybody growing up in the 70s. I was the spoiled youngest of 2 boys. I never, ever felt out of place. Ever. I never felt like, oh, they don't want me playing with them. I didn't feel like that. When I pulled up on my bike, kids scattered. Oh, terrain! Shoom!
But it's the way you were raised.
I thrived off of that. But this young man, hold on. This young man maybe he just wasn't aware and he caught a bad one at an early age. Can you speak to young people who may or may not be listening? Speak to parents who, don't have the knowledge that and the insight that you as a father have. Something to give them something to latch on to, please.
I think, I mean, I would say, they're not going to learn these things in school. They're going to learn these things from you to be watchful, to be alert when you go out and the company you keep. Sometimes they're not, for your best interest, regardless of what. So I used to always tell my boys that, and I would teach them about the history, even though I'm married to a Puerto Rican and they have Puerto Rican. I would teach them and sit down with them and we watch the Eyes on a Sparrow, stuff like that. Okay. Teach them about the history and things that went on in this country. And you could have friends that and they had many friends, but you never know who's going to line you up, who's going to set you up or put you in a position where they're going to, throw you under the bus. So it's just those things, just be aware. And parents who, there's nothing sweet out here. So you have to really be alert and teach your kids. The Crump thing, I couldn't even watch him, man. I'm like, where did he get his degree?
I'm gonna get to the video shortly. I've just been focused on a lot of.
I have to turn that. I saw it early this morning. I have to turn it off, man.
Oh no, sir! I'm gonna play that Benjamin Crump video after my break in its entirety, man. I appreciate the call.
Yeah, it's embarrassing. All right, you take care. Be safe.
Yes,
man.
sir. Yes, sir. Gangs of Love, sit tight. I'll be right there. Sit tight, Gangs of Love. Thank you to those of you who are sending donations via Cash App. We still use Venmo. We use PayPal. Your donations are appreciated. Tax deductible if you donate to the Snitch Network Cash App. $ Snitch Network. Tax deductible, okay? That's a 501c3. Boris, I got your email. What's going on? Oh my God. Boris, thank you. I'm going to get to that one. Boris just sent me Alexandria Cortez using her black accent, 7 years ago. Okay, give me a second. Let me bring in the homie. He's a supporter. He's a good guy. Gangster of Love. Good afternoon, sir. Thank you for your patience.
Yes, sir. Star, the big homie. How you doing today, sir?
I'm good, man. You have the floor. Take your time, please.
So, first off, I want to start off being objective, and I also want to be, I'm not sure which word is the correct term, sympathetic or empathetic to the Wells family, but I truly believe that he would have grew up and became another number 9, Anton Daniels, or Officer Tatum. So I'm not saying I'm happy that he's departed. That would be very insensitive.
Yeah.
Insensitive.
Don't say that.
Yeah, insensitive of me. But, that's how I look at him. And it saddens me to hear all these white people give white people the benefit of the doubt. I'm on Facebook reading the comments and they say, oh, he's drowned. He didn't get beat up and there was no foul play done. Yeah. But not knowing the history of Alabama and the barbarism of white people, it astonishes me that they give them the benefit of the doubt and knowing it's the whole complete opposite.
It's called being on code, is it not? It's called being on code.
It's all code. And us as FBAs and other black people on the black diaspora are not on code. Like, I respect number 9 because he's a real smart dude, but to hear him get on here, and I hope he's trolling half the time, but I really...
No, he's as serious as colon cancer. Oh, no. Number 9 is very serious. And number 9, if you're out there and you want to call in and address Gangs of Love, you have the floor because you called his name, Gangs of Love, and we tried not...
I did.
We tried not...
I have no problem.
We tried not to do that. Please don't take shots at other callers, but if he calls back and he wants to talk to you, I have to honor that.
So it's not being disrespectful, Star. Like I say, I respect number 9's opinions, but like I say again, it kind of hurts my heart to hear what he says being a black man. You know, I'm not even saying that he has to totally agree, but for him to give the white people the benefit of the doubt, even if you hear some of the other white people come on here, they'll tell you, hey, that this doesn't add up. Like, this is a red flag. This is a red flag. But you mean to tell me from everything that you've heard from other people, you still think that those white folks had absolutely nothing to do with his death? And when you played the interview, you spoke a lot, Star. How is it that you grew up with this young man and you've only met his parents one time, but you said you've known him since elementary school? That doesn't add up. You're not my friend.
I got to correct you. No. He met his father in passing at Waffle House. Never been to the home.
Okay.
His mother.
Right.
Hold on. His mother said she doesn't know him. So he only met Nolan Wells' father. We're talking about Warren Hudson. Go ahead.
So I stand corrected. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
You are not my friend. How can you be my friend since elementary and you don't know my parents? All my friends that I grew up with, hey, when you come over to my house, man, look, this is my grandmother. This is her husband, my grandfather. Hey, Mrs. Levette. Hey, Mr. Levette. And when you see them out in the community, they gonna speak and you gonna speak. But for him to sit up there and say, oh, he was my friend, and you also said a whole lot, Star, when you were saying, oh, he made us laugh. He made it. Man, they was looking at him as if he was their monkey, their pet. They wasn't looking at him as no friend. And whatever transpired, whether it be an accident or they did some kind of get back on him, I'm not even saying that it was planned, but again, when white folks see blood in the water, Star, they're gonna push you into it.
Let me jump in here, second Gangsta Love. I appreciate you, but now, you know, you're trying to pull number 9 in to the conversation, or by way of inclusion. You're saying he's a black man, something that hurts your heart. You're foundational Black American. Number 9 is of Haitian descent. So, you know, you shouldn't necessarily look to correct someone else or, you know, be offended by something number 9 says. He is as serious as colon cancer. He puts a little humor on things at times to soften the impact, and he's very good at that. But no, he stands firm on his principles, and I respect that about him. But listen, let's not focus on number 9. He's not here to respond. Any thoughts on the mother down in Memphis, Tennessee, allegedly shot and killed the young man in his 20s who was in her home? Supposedly, allegedly, her 13-year-old daughter sent an Uber to bring this guy over through the back door at 1 a.m. Any thoughts?
Free Mammy. I want to say that first and foremost. As a retired gang member, one thing that street code go by is anybody that is a PDF with children, you can't be associated with us. So a 20-year-old man messing with a 13-year-old girl, man, all I can say is rest in piss. There's no way you can tell me that you don't know the difference in a conversation between a grown woman and a 13-year-old girl. If she's staying at her mama house, then you should know for a fact that she is pretty much untouchable. I'm pretty sure there's enough apps out here where you can go get a grown woman, but for you to be a grown man and to sleep with a young girl of that age, hey man, rest in peace. I got 2 daughters, and I'm putting my daughters before anything. My job as a father is to protect, to provide, and preserve. So I'm putting that before anything.
Can I jump in? Gangsta?
Yes, sir.
I didn't know you were a retired gang member because you're from California, right?
I am, Star. I never was officially put down on the set, but when you from LA and you have a family member that is in it, you're damn near in it. You know, so no, I never was put down on the set, but I put in some work, put it like that, but I never was put down on the set. But I'm saying that kind of being funny.
Okay, because I just wanted to, you know, be clear, because if you would have dropped your flag, whoa, that's something different, man. But hey, I appreciate you, man.
They never gave me the flag because they say I was too square. So
gotcha.
It is what it is. Gotcha. But let me say this real quick before I get off, Star. I think the woman should be let off on manslaughter. I don't think she should have popped him in the back of the head, but I do think that she was well within her means to defend her family and do what she had to do for her daughter. I do want to say that.
I appreciate you.
And with that being said, If you like it, I love it. I'm the gangster love. I'm out. I appreciate you for taking my call, sir.
Okay. Hey, Kayla, thank you for your comment. This is the objective perspective. Folks, I like people to speak freely. Kayla says, I'm not entertaining this argument that black people were here first. Just stop. You're participating in the same type of erasure that whites do to you, but doing it to Indians. Get real. She's spent Skrilla. Thank you so much for being a member. Absolutely. Whether I agree or not. Guys, please keep me up to speed. Keep me posted with regards to Nolan Wells. I wasn't trying to be mean-spirited. It was very serious. Did he own a boat? Because his friend, Warren Hudson, when talking to Officer Tatum, he kept talking about his boat, his friend, his buddy's boat, and this other buddy, their boats. Were they renting boats? Do they have boats with trailers or a hitch? Did Nolan have a boat? Did Nolan clean boats? Who was Nolan with regards to his so-called friends? And I want clarity with regards to, the friendship. Let me also say this with regards to quote-unquote friends. I can't say I have a friend that I did not fight with. Maybe, if not physically, verbally. Gonna get an amen. You can't call me your friend if we haven't had some type of disagreement. There has to be a pecking order of sorts. I don't want to be shucking and yucking with people. That's not a friend. I got to be able to call you out, challenge you, and see if your heart pumps Kool-Aid. That's an old saying. Does your heart pump Kool-Aid? I had a bitch nigga back in the days. Oh, my God. He used to call me all the time, want to come around and hang around. And we were in a pool hall one time, early 90s, brawling with some goddamn, some Porter Rocks. His bitch ass sitting over there sipping on a soda. Oh, I barked on that goofy nigga. Stop fucking with him, too. Behind that. Area code 440. Good afternoon. Is that who I think it is? 440.
Здравствуйте, старик. Как дела?
Boris, how are you, man? What's cracking?
I'm good. I just wanted to chime in initially on the subtopic about Cam Newton and Ryan Clark being fired from ESPN, and then make some comments on different topics.
Please.
Yes. So I find it very odd that people like Cam Newton find themselves at their grown age fired from a network like ESPN. This is nothing new that the ESPN lays off many of its talent,
right?
And it's for budget reasons. How is it that you, when I said you, I don't mean you, I mean Cam Newton, a former MVP, do not have find yourself on a platform like ESPN. You do not receive any of their ad revenue, nothing. Pretty much you're going to make a cameo for free.
Yeah.
You need to have your own platform. I wanted to come in and give you some stats that 78% of NFL players file for bankruptcy within the first 2 years. And then when you push it, if you're lucky enough to make it to 12 years, the percentage drops to 15.7. You know what I mean? So it is very shameful for you to work hard all your life and then to impregnate multiple baby mamas and find yourself subjugated to the friends and family tax. You remember Antoine Walker, right? When
oh my goodness! Whoa! Antoine Walker played with the Miami Heat. He was dating what's her name?
Evelyn
Lozada. He made over $100 million, I think. And when it was all said and done, he was he was eating Rice Krispies in his 40s, trying to play basketball in the UK somewhere. Yes, no?
And the G League, he was part of the Idaho Stampede, a team that nobody even knows. He even admitted that he would go on luxury trips and he would buy I don't understand this concept. I put in the work in the gym. You know how they say, you was not with me in the gym shooting shots, right? You know how every rapper likes to say it. Why it behooves every athlete to buy Rolexes to every member of their family or their
entourage.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I also want to give sideways smoke to Shannon, because for him to lose sponsorships from his platform, and for him to cut a check to a white girl over 20 million, to me it's like he paid for a quick time 20 million, which is absurd to me. You need to look at it from the average person's perspective. You paid $20 million to have intercourse with somebody that could be your granddaughter. On top of that, you were refusing to pay for your daughter's wedding. What does that make you look like?
Oh my God!
So
I forgot about that.
Yes, this whole thing, athletes need desperate financial literacy courses before they sign on the dotted line.
Let me jump in for a second, Boris. I have a video that I may or may not play here. I think it's from the New York Post. I got a guy, I don't know who he is. And he's giving more context to the reason why some of these ESPN guys were laid off. It has to do with some type of merger, NFL network merger. You have to speed on that or no?
I have heard about it, yes.
I'll play it shortly. But listen, I'm getting ready to take my break, man. Anything else you want to address, or do you want to talk about?
Yes.
Before we go?
Briefly, I wanted to chime in on the whole Mamdani fiasco. Please, people, Mamdani, if you do your research, Mamdani knew he could not deliver on this, because you need to understand, he recently gave himself a boost of $50K. Right. So his salary is bumped into $305,000.
Right.
He hasn't delivered on anything. He has limited power to do rent freeze. If anything, he did not make the subway system free. He increased it to $3 a fare.
Right.
And he knew that in order for him to make his brainwashed, brain-dead audience happy, he needed to present, oh, look, I tried to arrest this war criminal. Right. Listen, Star, you have heard me give the smokeheads smoke, but pay attention to the language he used in his video addressing Netanyahu. He said they killed 73,000 Palestinians. Why you do not distinguish between regular people and actual terrorists? Yeah. And I have no dog in this fight. I think that both of these entities should stay out of U.S. politics, because I want for the average American homeless person to receive funding from his government, as opposed to our money going elsewhere.
Gotcha.
But
Boris, I don't mean to cut you short, but I gotta take a break, and
no problem.
We'll get back to
check out the video I sent to you.
Yes, I'm gonna play that when I get back from my break. I appreciate you, man.
Have a good one, sir.
Thank you. Okay. Is that the homie? Area code 929, Aladdin.
Hey, sir, how you doing? Been a long time. How you doing?
I'm good, man. Good to hear from you. We got a couple of topics on the table. Where do you want to start, Aladdin?
I'm not sure. I don't know if you have a topic with the AOC talking all that in the South. Yeah, I'm sorry, because I can't. You know me. You don't always tell you the truth. I'm not too well versed in politics, but I can't stand this little Puerto Rican mouse talking crazy. Like, this can of Goya beans, what does she think she's doing? She's gonna infuse black folks? Like, you're a popcorn stick. You're not.
Well, hang on a second, Aladdin. It's a little too early for the racial slurs.
Okay. I'm sorry. I won't use the slurs.
No,
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Hold it. It's not really a main topic. I found that video to be entertaining. AOC down in Memphis. But listen, this is what she does. She's a politician, a public figure, a public official as well. So she has to appeal to different people. Now, yes, does she cosplay? Yes. Does she code switch? Absolutely. But now what about the people who accept the code switching? What about them?
Well, I think they're ignorant and they're delusional. Latinos, Puerto Ricans, I grew up in Spanish Harlem. They're more racist than the Caucasian. This Sassoon breath broad is not, maybe it works in the South because they only have Mexicans where they live. So maybe they're not familiar with East Coast people in New York that had to deal with the racisms of Latinos in New York City. But I don't like a Latino trying to get praise from Southern blacks like she's going to have a chance at the presidency. It's like, I know you're racist. Your people are so terrible, you don't even like your own race. You want to be white. Like, you want to be white. Like, especially Puerto Ricans, they want to be white so bad.
Well, now, hang on a second, Aladdin. Listen, I can appreciate what you're saying. No, stay with me. But, I can't sit here and be a hypocrite. I've dated many girls like AOC, and I used to become frustrated because I couldn't get them to act white enough so that we could go downtown, Midtown Manhattan, run scams.
You kill me when you say gay.
And do all sorts of shit. Listen, I used to be up in 1018 roller skating. I was with the freestyle. The rap music.
I remember the 90s freestyle was Bobby. Yeah, I know.
That was my thing. So I'm not gonna sit here and just condemn her. But here's the thing. She's code switching. I find it to be entertaining and hilarious. I don't want to do a whole deep dive into the history of racism, Latinas, yada, yada, yada. But let's go to my main topic. Nolan Wells. Did you see the interview I played with Officer Tatum and one of his so-called friends, Warren Hudson?
And that's the thing. I hate calling without information. I'm not sure what happened with that situation.
All right. Well, his so-called friend, Warren Hudson, sat down with Officer Tatum, who I don't know too much about Officer Tatum. I'm just being very honest. I'm aware of him, but I've not watched his videos like that. He admitted that he never went to Nolan's house, and they grew up together since elementary school. So this whole thing about he was my brother, my best friend, I'm saying white supremacy is on full display. Rarely do I even use that term, white supremacy, but in the sense that they are allowing their culture to dominate the seeking of truth. What happened to this guy? There's too many so-called friends being quiet. That's what I wanted to say. Go ahead.
And this is a young black man that drowned in Mississippi, correct?
Was he black, or did he think he was something else?
No, I'm not going to play my games with you. Can we talk about Ryan Clark? I'm not going to. Can
we make it brief, because that's now an old story. Ryan Clark, Cam Newton, and others released from ESPN. Please, go ahead.
Well, I feel, and this is how I truly feel, it wasn't a budget like Boris said. It's not budget cuts or new anchors. It's the fact that Ryan Clark is not a $40 million slave. They need people to talk like, man, I used to dunk the basketball in the hole and, I got points. Okay. And Ryan don't talk like that. And the white man don't like him because he's an intelligent athlete that is telling you cannot articulate or speculate on this game that you never played. And then when I check you're getting angry at me because I'm a smart black. I don't sound like a $40 million slave. Right. I run down the fields and then I get the touchdown. Right. Okay. That's the news they want on ESPN. Right. The dumb, ignorant fool black. And he's not that. And I think that's why he got canned.
Okay. Hey, man, great to talk to you. Aladdin, salute.
All right, take care.
Yes, sir. That's my guy right there. Well, let me play a video. I always have show notes. I put things together so that I can, have a source when we talk about these topics. I've seen this guy, but I don't know exactly who he is. But this is New York Post Sports. Carl Ravik, is that his name? No, I'm sorry. Hold on a second. Okay, guys, I don't know who this gentleman is. I apologize, but he's talking about a merger. Let's play this video and see what's going on for those who care about the layoffs at ESPN. Here we go.
Another well-known ESPN analyst has been let go. On Monday night, it was Ryan Clark live on NFL Live. Yes, in the middle of a broadcast. That's when he found out that he was done. 11 years at that network, a seat on Monday Night Countdown next to Jason Kelsey, regular spots on First Take, Get Up, all gone mid-segment, just like that. But it wasn't over then. Less than 24 hours later, Carl Ravish, who spent 33 years at the network, and that goes back to 1993, found out that he was out too. The night before, he was calling Phillies, Dodgers, Sunday Night Baseball, Baseball Tonight, Sports Center. 3 decades of us hearing that voice, and the call comes the morning after his last broadcast. That just lets you know how fast this business can turn on you. But here's the why, and it's bigger than just a bad week. This is a merger playing out in real time. ESPN closed on NFL Network back in February. $2.5, $3 billion deal. And in return, the NFL took a 10% equity stake in ESPN as a part of it. Sounds like a business story that you want to skip past, right? But it actually means it's 2 entire workforces that just got smashed into one building up in Bristol, Connecticut. Every role that existed twice, it now only needs to exist once. And when that happens, somebody's job becomes redundant by design. Doesn't matter how good of a talent that you are. This is actually round 2 of cuts this year, too. Back in the spring, it was about 30 people, but mostly the behind-the-scenes type people, quieter, corporate, easy to miss type people. Now, this round is different. It's hitting recognizable on-air names, and according to reporting, an even bigger number is coming after NFL Network side, both on camera and camera staff. Now, to be clear, NFL Network itself, it isn't disappearing. This isn't a shutdown either. This is all about who's still standing once the merger dust settles for good. And here's the part that hits different for me, because I've been on both sides of the locker room door, and I know exactly what it feels like to get a call that you didn't see coming. Trust me. But this is a different building, different circumstances, but it's still the same gut punch. Guys like Clark, guys who played the game and then built a second career being an honest, pretty much credible voice in that room, that's exactly the kind of role that gets squeezed first when the accounts merger. Some folks are circling back to that back and forth he had with Peter Schrager months ago as the reason of him being let go. But this is business, y'all. It's more of a reason than the reason he was let go. But here's what sucks the most. This isn't over. More names are expected.
I like this guy. I don't know his name. Anybody know this guy's name? This is New York Post Sports. I believe him. He's talking about some merger and just, consolidating. Maybe not downsizing, but consolidating. And some of those bigger contracts are just, not needed. We have to keep in mind that everything moves so fast now. Everything's in real time. Social media. So, you don't need some person who's making 3, 4, 5 million a year as you're getting older trying to give commentary. You need somebody that will take a quarter of what you're paying that older person, who will work even harder than that person, who sleeps with this goddamn mobile device to their head. And they're always on Instagram, X, and YouTube. Yes, no?
To come throughout the day. So this story is still developing. So keep that tab open and keep hitting refresh, because by tonight, so keep this tab open because by tonight, this list looks different than what it does right now.